Naam, karibu tena katika kipindi unachokienzi sana Talk It Out na mimi hapa Johnson Smart. Kila mara, kila siku ya Jumatano tunakutana katika runinga yetu hapa ambapo tunazungumza masuala ya wanaume, boy child ukipenda katika lugha ya Kimombo. Hivi leo ninao wageni katika studio zetu, wataangazia mambo mengi sana kuhusu changamoto ambazo kwa kweli kijana mvulana anapitia katika jamii. Hii leo tutajifunza mambo mengi sana na kusihi kwamba usibanduke ulikoketi, keti kitako kuanzia sasa hadi tamati. Dennis, karibu.
Asante sana.
It's been quite a good time again meeting today.
Yeah, it has been.
And Laban.
Thank you.
Laban, hujambo bwana?
Jambo.
Yes.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been well.
Wow.
And thank you for having us here.
Great. Now, in a nutshell, matters to do with boy child. We speak about the challenges that boy child encounters in the society these days.
Yes.
And we are not ruling out the earlier aspect of history, how it defines a man.
Yeah.
We know there are a couple of challenges that go through in someone's life, especially the boy child.
Yes.
So today, if we bisect issues to do with the drug abuse,
Yes.
how has this affected the boy child today? Starting with you, Laban.
Well, thank you very much. The boy child in our society today has greatly abused the drugs, ranging from medical drugs all the way to hard drugs. And to this point, a majority of them have, from my society, we expect them to maybe start a family at 25 years and above. But now you find that at the age of 30, someone has not yet started, maybe they're still struggling with drugs. So that has delayed much part of their life. That's one effect that it just drags us on the young people. Two, we've had already struggling, jumping up and down, saying how dissatisfied they are with the men that they have in the houses. So that use of drugs has affected the sexual part of man, that they are non-performers per se.
Wow.
Yeah.
To you, Dennis,
Yes.
what is this aspect that the boy child is struggling with as far as drug abuse is concerned?
I think there is, I will speak about inferiority complex, where one, you find, yani mtu ajielewi, mtu aji-accept,
Hajikubali kabisa.
hajikubali kabisa. Manake kuna just like daktari vile ambavyo amesema ya kwamba familia, many of us according to vile ambavyo society iko, ya kwamba come age 25 we are expected to start a family. Yes, and nowadays because of the pressure of the society and because of the way our generation has become a microwave generation.
Yes.
Whereby kuna kuji-compare. There is that comparison. Ya kwamba so and so is driving a good car at 3 years old.
Hivi na lazima pia mimi nifanye vile, sio?
Yes, and you actually do not know their parents. And then kuna huyo ambaye ameanzia chini kabisa. Unapata kwamba because of many pressure we've wasted ourselves. Na tunaanza kuingia katika mambo ya sugar mummies. Tunaanza kusema ya kwamba no, we have to make ourselves very visible, mpaka to an extent of kwenda kununua some creams tunajipaka
ili tuonekane, sio?
Sasa some sizes kwingine kukue ni large so that upate ya kwamba society imetukubali. Wengine wanaingia katika areas za bleaching because imesemekana ya kwamba if you are light skinned you stand a higher chance of people accepting you. You know?
Okay.
That's drug abuse. Just to ile yani kufanya kwamba ukubalike in the society. Na wengine wametoa tindi kabisa. Unapatana na mtu ulimuona 2 years ago, ukipatana naye kwa supermarket uwezi yani
amebadilika kabisa, amebadilika.
Kwa tunasema tunasoma na yeye. Anakaa yellow yani. Anakaa yellow. Yeah, so that's one of the area ambayo watu wengine wameamua kutoa kujipuliza, yani unapata ya kwamba huku si kunona kwa kawaida. Wengine kuna kujidunga madawa, mara wengine wanataka kuenlarge their hips.
Unajua ni msukumo sasa wa jamii ambao unawafanya vile.
Yes.
Kwamba hawajikubali jinsi walivyo.
Hawajikubali kabisa.
Daktari Laban, tukiangazia kidogo tu historia yako ya maisha ulipokuwa unakuwa kama kijana mvulana, kuna mambo mengi sana ambayo huenda uliyapitia katika hili swala la mihadarati. Kwa dakika labda 2-1 hivi.
To start with, I'm brought up in a Christian family, and throughout up to my college life, I never used any drugs. Now I got to college, and there was too much pressure from the books. I used to pass papers. Our friends are going out, you have to go with them. So to fit in that kind of a circle, I found myself start taking alcohol without knowing. And before I realized, I was into it more than in education. And fortunately, I became a father at the age of 23. And from that now, things started changing very fast. Our child, I don't want to let the child go, or I don't want to let the mother so go. So I am to now get how I can feed these people.
Yes.
And in the process, I became, I got into kind of a depression, but I didn't show it to anyone until at a point when now I became a father for the second time. I broke down. I broke down because the society expect I've been to school. I need to feed my family. Also, my parents are also waiting upon me. So I had to do 2 jobs at the same time, no sleep, no nothing. For you to calm down, you have to use some substance. So at the end of the day, I broke down, and the family was too careful about I'm almost lost. So I would say that at points our system of education and the society at the same time has some effect on a boy child in the misuse of these substances we're talking about. Yeah.
So how did you get out of that condition?
Well, it went to the worst, and I lost it. I broke down. I was taken to the hospital after using a substance. While I was teaching myself, I'm a medic, so I thought I'm doing good to myself so that I cannot stop feeling what I'm feeling. But it landed me to an ICU. I was there for a month plus, and after that, normal ward. Through counseling, I was under antipsychotics. That tells you it was badly off for 6 months, and then from there, I had regular visits to the psychiatrist and also to the counselor, opening up to them. At the same time, a majority of my roles as a father now were lived off me, thanks to my family and friends, until I was able to stand on my feet. So there was the medical aspect to get out of this. There was counseling, and also I was also encouraged to talk to people. That's how I came to meet Dennis, and I shared with him. Thank God, when I was sharing with him, I didn't break down. For the first few, let's say a year plus, anytime I shared it with someone, I would break down into tears, telling it was not over yet. But when I was able to share with him a year plus later, it was okay. And today, I'm fine now, back to my feet with my family, and off the substances. Yeah.
Wow, that's been a great challenge in his life. So Dennis, you coming in to encounter that, or rather to counter attack the situation, in other words, to help, Dr. Laban.
Yes.
What does it entail to get someone out of drugs?
Thank you for that question, and thank you, Dr. Laban, for sharing. Let me say it's not automatic. It's not automatic. There is, as he has put it, there is a doctor's part. I mean, is a process. Daktari atafanya kazi yake, kuna psychiatrist, na kuna mahali kwa pastor, kuna mahali kwa mzazi. It is a process. But this process is gradual. it's not automatic. It's not something that will happen after 1 year. It's not something that will happen after, even to others it takes like 2 years. And the reason why that happens is because we've been created differently.
Yes.
And we also suffer different issues. So, and every one of us has got a purpose in terms of wanakuja kufanya nini. Kile kinafanywa na daktari si chenye kinafanywa na pastor or someone else. Yeah. So it's a process that unajiingiza katika maisha ya this victim, and then you work with them. And sometimes it's because this person is broken, they will not understand your language. Some other times you'll walk in a room and then they start crying.
Yes.
I've worked with so many people from different careers, because there's a lot to do with it. There's spiritual part. And some other times you just walk in a room and then this person doesn't want to talk to you. So at that particular time, what they need from you is just your presence. Some other times they will open. Don't push them to open up, to tell you their story. Just be there. Just be there. And that is very, very much important. Don't leave them, don't shun them, don't say that they are demon possessed. Yeah, don't disregard them. Just walk by their side until, hata kama hakuambii what they are going through, but give them some time. At least be there. See, it's not that you si lazima uongee, but at least be there.
Uwepo wako wetu pale.
Let them know they have a shoulder to lean on. Security for such people is very important. Emotional security, guidance security is very, very much important. Yeah, because they are very vulnerable at that stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Laban, ulipokuwa unapitia hii hali ya kutoka kwenye mihadarati, ni nini haswa kilikuwa kuja kwenye kichwa chako, kwenye mawazo wakati ule? Na huenda tuseme marafiki pia walikuacha wakati ule. Ni nini haswa kilikuwa kinakuja kwenye fikira zako wakati kama huo? Maana kuna wengi ambao hupoteza maisha kupitia njia nyingi.
So I think during that period of time, there were too much going in my mind. One, I lost a lot of friends. A lot of friends ran away from me. They thought I'm mad. I will never recover again, because being in ICU for a month plus, it's not a joke. To some extent, the wife that I had, Trisha, and most, and she's still my wife today, ran away. Because at that point the doctors were giving up also, because all my vitals went down. So when I got out of the hospital after maybe it was almost 3 months plus, I felt that I lost everything. I lost everything because I got into this situation because of my family, my small family that I was nursing, and I also lost my job. So I felt that I'm worthless. I can't continue like this. I have to go home and maybe restructure myself. At the same time, I felt now I want to distance myself from people. I ran away from the church, so I fellowshipped. I did go for any gatherings. I could not go to a supermarket because I felt that everyone is talking about me in my mind. But there are some people who always stick within. So I had 2 friends who stuck with me. Some of them even took leave from work to come and stay with me. They sat down, got me a house where I can stay, furnished it to some extent. They can cook, we eat, we watch movies. They encouraged me to go for swimming. First time I went for swimming. So during those activities, I was able to let things off my mind slowly without me realizing. And I came back to my social life. And I made new friends altogether. Still on a medication all this time. And maybe, okay, also at that point I also felt that I offended my parents the worst. I'm the first son. Being a second born, I'm the first son. I started blaming myself, like now I might kill these parents out of depression as well. But I thank God because they stood. And they were a very big backbone. They helped me stand.
Wow.
So there was too much running in my mind. But with time, you find that they are out. If you walk a journey with someone, I would not say they are mentors but friends who understand you. People like Dennis. I also, my reverend, as much as at that point I distanced myself from the church, he was very consistent. Calls me for coffee, picks me, And at the end of the day, all those fears went down.
Wow.
And today I'm able to speak openly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dennis,
Yes.
kuna kazi hapo kweli.
Kuna kazi.
Na bado inaendelea. Bado inaendelea.
Yeah.
Sasa wewe kama niseme mchungaji,
Yeah.
the spiritual part. Kuna baadhi ya watu ambao huenda umekutana nao,
Yes.
ukiwapatia mawaidha ili kutoka kwenye hafla fulani ya maisha,
Yes.
ambayo sio sawa. Je, kuna wale ambao hawajakubali?
Yes.
Na ukikataa, wewe unachukulia kivipi lile swali? Maana ni jukumu lako wewe
Yes.
kufanya hivyo.
Yes, ni jukumu langu. And one of the things that I would say smart ni ya kwamba this varies from one person to the other, depending on what has befallen them in life. And there's an extent you have to involve, like if it's a young person, you have to involve the parents. I know of many people ambao wamekuwa na depression, to some extent they want to commit suicide, maybe because of pressure from their parents. Kuna wengine ambao siku hizi wako na, because of anxiety they break down, and unapata ya kwamba somebody they cannot just afford, it's not normal for them to sleep. They have to take some drugs so that walale wapate usingizi, na kwako tu naona kama tu ni normal, but someone has to make sure lazima akunywe dawa. So you have now to involve that parties. Yeah. Akuje monge, so that you create a secure environment for this person.
Okay.
Because that is very, very much important. Thank God because of those two friends. Because they created a secure environment for Dr. Laban. And that is very, very much important because it quickens now the healing part. Because there are parties who are involved. That person is still very vulnerable. So you have to keep on checking them and consulting with the doctors and so on and so forth. So that wasirudi back to their state.
Kule walikotoka.
Yeah, because kuna cycles. Unaweza ona kama amepona, lakini bado atarudi tena. Na wengine, that's why it's important kukuwe na mtu ambaye anaangalia this person. Sometimes hawajui feeding time. They cannot even tell you, you know what, I need food. They will not tell you that. Some of them watakuwa tunakulia usiku na mchana. They don't know how they are feeling. And then sasa ukimpeleka in a noisy environment, mahali ambapo mnamtetesha, mahali ambapo yani mko na shughuli nyingi, na kuna wengine literally hataki kuona watu. There are people who will just walk in a room like this, aanze kulia. Because they are feeling insecure, they are very vulnerable at that particular time. So, ni kazi. And for you have to work with them so that at some point, waanze kuji-accept. And then, kila wakati tu, ni unamuongelesha, unamuaffirm, because they need a lot of affirmation again. They need a lot of affirmation because this person is on their own world. They're on their own planet. Hawajui hata ni nini ambao inaendelea. Ukimuuliza ni nini ambao what happened?
Yaani yeye yuko dunia yake tu. Huenda sio kutaka kwake, ni hali tu ya maisha.
Yeah, it's because of circumstances. It's because of environment. There are other parents ambao wanasukumia watoto wao kufanya mambo ambao wanayotaka. I was speaking to a certain parent and then alikuwa ananiambia kwamba mtoto wangu lazima akuwe pilot. And now this mtoto wake hataki kuwa pilot. Yeye anataka kufanya ICT engineering. So by the end of the day, the parents, the mzazi akaambia mtoto wake, you have to leave this house. Enda sasa ukatafutie nyumba nyingine because you've ashamed me, you've embarrassed me.
Okay.
I cannot take anything lower. You have to be a pilot.
Na hiyo huenda ndio chanzo, huenda
yes.
baadhi ya mambo tu ambayo hufanyika mwanzo ili mtu aingie katika maisha fulani ambayo hayapendi.
Yes.
Wow.
Na msichana akaingia katika depression. Alipoingia katika depression nikupelekwa rehab. Na sasa hivi hataki kuona parents wake. So she's on her way to recovery. So there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure around that. So we can devolve this. We have solutions within us.
Wow.
We have solutions.
Speaking of solutions, labda nikuja tena kwa Daktari Laban.
Yeah.
Ulipokuwa unaendelea katika hafla ya kurudi katika yale maisha sasa ya kawaida, kama Laban, sijui huo ndio ulikuwa msukumo wako wa kusomea udaktari ama kulikuwa vipi? Baada ya kuingia katika maisha ya kutumia mihadarati, je, alikusukuma wewe kusomea udaktari?
During that time, first of all, you didn't have educational advisors. So it's from high school, and you choose courses because they are appearing. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I had this feeling that I can be a teacher, and that's why I'm back to class to do postgraduate diploma in education. But I go to class. I will not say I was forced by anyone to do what I did, but JAB, then the Joint University
Admission Board.
Yeah, allocated me that unit. I tried to change, and it was difficult for me. So I had to sit down in class and do the 5-year course.
Na Dennis, wajua kwamba hiyo pia ni tatizo kubwa sana.
Yes.
Pia vyuo vikuu vinakusukuma ufanye kitu ambacho labda haukipendi.
Yeah.
Na hiyo ni serikali ambayo inafanya hivyo. Yeah.
So I pursued it and I did very well, but I feel that it was not the calling. That's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So within me, I feel I'm a teacher. I've been scored high grades, yeah, but I feel that this should go to class. Nevertheless, I don't regret much about it, but it would have been one of the triggers, because again, the job I was doing before now the whole scenario happened was medically related, but not exactly what I wanted to do. So maybe my performance was not good, so my bosses would also force me on. And you find now you take this home, pressure from work home, sit down and it's like, this is not what I wanted to do in my life. Then from this house, then the sort is pushing you too hard. You're now father of 2 boys, you need to put up a big building right now, you need to be having kind of a car, we took you to school, you know, all those things. So all this put together can really distract someone. Yeah.
Wow, labda tukimalizia, labda kwa muda mchache tunapozungumza kwa dakika 5 hivi. Kabla nirudi kwenye daktari, Dennis.
Yes.
Wewe kama mchungaji na pia msaidizi na mwanasheria na pia mwandishi wa vitabu. Kuna baadhi ya mambo ambayo haswa kijana mvulana anapitia katika jamii. Na ulipokuwa unamsaidia daktari hapa kutoka kwenye hafla ile, yale maisha ya kutumia mihadarati, je, kuna wale ambao umekutana nao katika kuwasaidia kuishi maisha ambayo ni sawa na bado wanaishi kwenye dunia ile nyingine ya kutumia mihadarati?
Yeah, wapo kuna watu wengi ambao tumesaidiana. Niseme tumesaidiana.
Hajaacha, lakini bado yeye huja kutupa mazungumzo.
Yeah, kuna wengine ambao bado unapata ya kwamba yeye weekend kwake, weekend Friday ni members day. Paka chafue hata jua kama kuna weekend,
okay.
You know? Na kuna wengine ambao wanakuja kwangu. Manake I'm very let me say my space is open because I sit in so many forums. So I speak to young people. Nakumbuka wakati nilikuwa chuo kikuu, kuna my colleague tulikuwa tunasoma na yeye. And let me say alikuwa ametoka in a very humble family. I will not mention the tribe, I will not mention the name. And out of let me say out of status, because then tulikuwa tunalipiwa almost everything by the government. Along the way, because alikuwa a parallel student, so the pressure was too much because sasa alikuwa hakuwa amehitimu yani kabisa, and he needed to kind of raise a lot of money. So what happened ni ya kwamba after a while alipata sugar mommy na ukapata pressure kweli ilikuwa nyingi sana,
na maisha yakabadilika.
So within 2 weeks naona mtu kila saa zote anadropiwa tu na mama mnene. Sasa hapo ndio nilijua
kuna hitilafu mahali.
Hapo ndio nilijua sugar mommy. I didn't know what that was. So nikaweza kujua kwamba yani kuna watu ambao wanaishi maisha ambayo sio yao. Na ukapata kwamba by the end of the day this gentleman dropped from the university because again sugar mommy anamhitaji kila wakati, hawezi kaa shuleni and so on and so forth, kila wakati ni passes mpaka akakuwa discontinued maana ya mambo kama hayo. So there are people who will not change automatically. I'll still say that, but we should not give up on them.
Okay.
We should not give up on them. We should just keep on talking to them. One day, along the way, they will change. They will change.
Sure.
And also, it's also very, very much important we sit and get to know what's the challenge. Sometimes they may not know, lakini kuna kile kinawafanya wa rotate around us. So let's not give up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Daktari Laban, ni mawaidha yapi ambayo unaweza mpa yule kijana ambaye anatazama hivi sasa na anapitia ile hali ambayo ulipitia? Je, anaweza toka kule na awe vile ulivyo sasa hivi ukitazama ile kamera pale?
Well, thank you. So it's very easy to do that, but first of all, they have to accept that they are not on the right track. That's the basis of everything, because no one knows that they are in that kind of problem until things get out of way. But they should accept that they are in a bad situation. 2, they open up. Let them open up maybe to a spiritual leader, to a friend, a confidant. They can even open up to the parents if possible, the older brothers, so that they can start this journey. So I've said start with opening up, then now taking the journey. It's tiring, first of all, humiliating. You feel like people talk about you, yes, but it will be for a while. But the moment you're out of it, they're going to appreciate the fact that you are lost and now you're found. Then they need to attach themselves to a spiritual house, regardless of what. That's the place that you would like you to get much help. There's much love in a spiritual house more than in the out, in the out, the outside. Let's say outside the church or the mosque. Then they must finish the process. If you don't finish the process, you're going to have a rebound.
Okay. Ni kama masomo tu. Darasani.
Yeah, utarudi nyuma tena. And this case is going to be worse than the first one. Because now you're going to resist to very many things. If you're on medication for the same, you're going to resist that. So that they need to finish the process. And I think with that they can be able to get out of this situation.
Wow.
And then I don't know what we're going to do to the society, because at a point the pressure that was forcing you to this is not going to be removed, because this is in the society. So what it calls for is having a small niche, having your own kind of people that you have the same belief, the same work. Yeah, people who are going to support you, regardless of what the society does. Don't compare yourself with anyone. You are you and you're unique.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a good finishing point.
Yeah.
You are new and unique.
Yes.
Wow. That's great.
Collect yourself, dust everything around you, and you shall stand.
Kwa hivyo tunasema kwamba jikusanye mwenyewe na ujitafute na ujiite mkutano kwanza na usimame. Dennis, unapomalizia ukizungumza kwa uzoefu ambao umekuwa nao kusaidia hawa vijana kutoka kwenye maisha ya mihadarati, na sio lazima ni mihadarati tu, kuna mambo mengi sana jamii ambayo vijana wanapitia haswa kijana mvulana, unapoangalia kamera hapa, mzungumzie kwa sekunde chache tu.
Okay, asante. Nataka kusema ya kwamba let's be driven by passion and not by the status of our communities. I'm speaking from a point of being a parent. Wale wazazi ambao wanaonitazama, mtoto wako akikwambia kwamba they want to go and do music, please allow them to go do music. Akisema kazi yake ni kuwa mechanical engineer, please allow them. There is much pressure of unemployment, of a lot of things. So let's allow them just do that which makes them happy. Passion, passion, passion. Be driven by passion.
Wow. Asanteni sana. Kwa kimombo tunasema thank you gentlemen.
Asante.
Najua nilipokuwa nakuwa niliambiwa kwamba ni madaktari tu ambao wanavaa miwani. Ni changamoto. Na mawakili kama Dennis hapa. Wow, nashukuru sana kuja kwenu.
Asante.
Natumai kwamba wow. It's an honor. Ni shukrani kubwa sana. Natumai kwamba tutazidisha mazungumzo. Na daktari hapa atuelezee mambo mengi ambayo kwamba kama anatibu wagonjwa ambao wanakuja vile alivyokuja akianza.
Yes.
Wow, mtazamaji, kwa kweli kipindi kimekuwa Ncha Talk It Out. Umekuwa nami hapa Johnson Smart. Tutaendelea na mazungumzo yetu kwenye mitandao. Tukutane tena majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu.